Hello everyone, I hope you're all alright. I'm not too bad, thank you. I haven't been recording anything for a while. I've sort of been trying to tidy up this room because I do a lot of work downstairs in my son's apartment in his living room because I look after him when he's not at his day centre or at college, and I tend to spread out on his sofa. And what happens every Tuesday is, because he has a carer who comes to look after him, I have to move out during the day. So I'm thinking, right, since this is going to be my regular room when we do get full-time carers looking after him, I need to get my stuff organised up here. But this is also going to be the guest bedroom whenever we have guests, so I need to organise in such a way that I can move out when need be. And what I mean by that is I will show you at some point, just not right now. I've got like a wardrobe storage thing. It's a 3-tier swivel, and I've got yarns in there. And I've agreed with my youngest son that I can put it in his wardrobe if we have guests. And likewise, I've got those interlocking storage boxes, the plastic, but with plastic interlocks, and it has magnetic doors. And although I've got a 3 stack, I've only stacked up 2 so far. I daren't stack up a third because you know what I'm like for yarn shopping. So I've done that so far, and I can easily lift that and move that into his room just when we have guests, but that's not to worry about for the moment. I just need to organise my surroundings here and get myself a bit more tidy. But in the meantime, what I want to show you is the hats that I made. Now, I mentioned one of them, this one. Let's get that in the centre better. Right, okay. Yes, that's the bridge beanie by Crochet Zombie, and I've made that for my dad for Christmas. And I did mention it in the last video, but it was just over on the headboard. And I didn't do it in worsted yarn because I didn't have that then. I was waiting for the delivery from the USA. But I did it in double knit first of all. And the first problem I encountered was that when I was increasing on the crown, it was going wavy. And I thought, well, I was using the correct hook for the double knit yarn, and I had the intention of increasing to where I needed to for the crown. So it shouldn't really matter what yarn you use, as long as you use the right hook for the yarn. And the waviness put me off, so I double-stranded the yarn and increased the size of the hook, and the same thing happened again. So I did a bit of research on the internet and found it said somewhere that you shouldn't really increase more than 6 per round to stop it from going wavy, I suppose. But this was 10 per round, and I've done 10, I've done 12 before, and it's always been fine. So why in this case, on just this particular reason, I've no idea why it happened. But I reduced it to 6 increments per round, and it worked. It was flat. Yes. So that's that for my dad for Christmas. I'm going to sew in my labels. Oh yeah, I've got some labels. Now, months ago, not long after I resumed knitting and crochet, well, I've only been crocheting since last October. My mum tried to teach me when I was younger, and I just couldn't get away with it. I was like, oh, them holes, I can't do it. And I just put it down and never did it again until I was looking at various YouTube tutorials for knitting, because she was successful in teaching me that. And I saw some crochet videos. I thought, I'd like to try that. So I got some hooks, and that's it. I'm away now, that's it. But anyway, I bought some labels for knitting. Hand knitted. Yeah. So I went back to the same website to get some for crochet, but the icons were knitting. There was a sewing machine, there was other things, and a needle and thread, and I thought, where's the crochet hook and ball of yarn? It's no good. So I went to Google, and I found an Etsy store in the US who made labels. They're called Mountain Street Arts. Anyway, I've got some crochet labels. So isn't that lovely? So I can sew them in the hats. But what I also do when I give people gifts of hats, I put the name of the hat, because it might have a certain name, like this is the bridge beanie, for instance, and I'll put designed by. I will be putting the Crochet Zombie. Is it Laura? Laura of the Crochet Zombie. Anyway, now I'd put a link to the pattern, and then I also put the yarn label, care label, so that people know how to wash it, and then I put crocheted by Cheryl Besbrod. So I always do that, and I think it's nice for people to have the information. So that's that project I finished recently, which you've already seen in the last yarn haul video. That's the male head, because I think my dad's got quite a big head, so I feel I'm safe doing that one. And then I also made this. People might have seen this already, it's on my Ravelry page. It's called The Happy Accident. I've actually made a pattern because I was looking at stitch combinations and I thought I was doing front loop, half double crochet and back loop, half double crochet. And I thought there must be a name for those two stitch combinations. You know how you have like waffle stitch and butterfly stitch and whatnot. You know, I thought there must be something like that. So I went back to the internet, tried to look for a name, and then I realised, I was doing it wrong. I was actually going in, sometimes if it twists away from you a little bit, the yarn, there's a little loop below the half double crochet where you normally put the hook, and that's where I was going in for what I thought was the front loop, and what I thought was the back loop was actually the front loop. But anyway, I thought it looked rather nice anyway. It had a lovely pattern. There's two yarns on there. There's buff and there's buff fleck. So I alternated that just on the main part of the hat, but the crown is all buff. I need to learn to focus to the same time. Sorry, I'm just novice at this. So anyway, I ended up writing a pattern. Oh yeah, and I ended it in rib. What do you call it? Crab stitch, that's what it is. Not rib. So that is actually for my son's former carer where we used to live. So that's a hat, and it's got the wonderful story to go with it. That was actually a mistake, and I ended up creating this. And I've also made her a scarf to go with it in the same pattern. When I first started, I thought, oh well, will I do like a narrow scarf and then just keep going, or will I do a long scarf and just do it for so many rows, like 6 inches or something? And then I realised actually this pattern is worked in the round, and I experimented back and forth on a sample and it totally changes it. It's just not right at all. So I thought it needs to be an infinity scarf, otherwise you're chopping the yarn off at the end of every row and starting again, right to left, right to left, right to left. So I decided to do an infinity scarf, and I've just edged the same in that. So I did that. But I'd like to wash them before I put the labels on. And plus it'll smell nice anyway. Because you know when you're working you get hot sometimes and you don't know what you... Well, and I've also, you know when you like do some cooking, you think you wash your hands properly, you never know, you might not have. You've still got residue of onions on there. So I think I would like to wash them, plus it'll soften it up a little bit. So that'll be nice. My next project is going to be, well actually I've got one in hand at the moment, it's knitting. And it's a lace design, and I'm not telling you what it is because if my mum sees this video it'll spoil the surprise. So, because that's for Christmas. But that's all I'm saying on that. And I will show you afterwards. What I will do, I won't put upload the video till after Christmas, that's an idea. But it's going to take a while because I have to concentrate, and then if I lose concentration I start making mistakes, and I've been using lifelines which have been wonderful. So what I'm going to do with crochet, there's a bag I made. It's not my design, it's somebody else's, but I have made it on the pictures on Ravelry. I just need to finish it off. I just need to do a chain and put a button on it, and it's totally finished then. But I've got another couple in mind, so I'm going to do them for people. But I'm going to line them as well, like I did with the hat for my friend in Ohio, and I'll be able to put my labels in there. So I'll be bringing out my sewing machine to do the lining. That'll be awesome. And I think that's it. Oh yeah, I've been playing with my camera. I've got this. It's not an expensive camera. It's not a DSLR or anything like that. It's just a basic point and shoot. But I've been discovering other settings on it. There it is. There's my camera. I love red. Just in case you didn't know that already. And it's a few years old. And I tried to do like... I've got a GorillaPod, look. Just position that. And I tried to record myself doing things, but it was always blurry, so I had to really play with the settings. It's just a lack of understanding, really. And I think I've figured out what to do, but there's a lot of like stuff around me which I need to move away, and I ended up having to turn the computer off. Having to move the keyboard, put on a towel. I really like black, I think, because there's a lot of light coming in from this window, and it just almost like bleaches what's in front of me. because it can be bright sometimes when the sun comes out from between the trees, which is nice on a sunny day, but not when you're trying to do some recording. And I've already got half a curtain round, as you might be able to see through that picture behind me. So I'd like something black, I think, maybe just to play around with. I just definitely want something to give a seamless, like what's in front of me and what's below me. Anyway, I talked to my son about that because he's studying photography and he knows all this stuff. I haven't got a clue. But I'll just follow his suggestions and see what happens. And I might be able to show you something. I don't know about teaching yet. I'm not used to people listening to me. I spent 12 years as a teaching assistant in a mainstream secondary school, and it was some of the kids were absolutely wonderful and some of the kids were a bit more challenging, and it was those ones who just didn't want to listen. And you feel like repeating yourself, and I'm not sure whether I can be succinct. It's just something I'll have to practice with and see what happens and test it out maybe. Just send it to a couple of people and say, what do you think? Is that all right? Would you be able to understand it? Am I clear? That kind of thing. Is there anything else? No, I can't think of anything else to say right now. It's 3:49. I'll need to open the gates for the bus to come in for my son. That's it, yeah. So, I will love you and leave you, and maybe I'll come back with another video of what I'm working on. Oh no, I can't show you that. That's a Christmas present. Well, I can, but I'd have to unlist the video and only send out links to people. That's the only way I could do it. I'll do something else as a work in progress, just something that could sit in the background and just pick up whenever, and then I can show you that instead, whatever that is. I haven't decided yet. Oh, I've got some. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Forget it. Yeah, I'll talk to you later about something else. Right. Have a good afternoon, and I will speak with you another time. Take good care.